Hey everyone, welcome back. It is kit building time, and this one comes courtesy of Steph Piper of the Elkei education kits. I will put a link to her Etsy page where you can get this, and also a link to our podcast episode. She's a really interesting person. So, this here is a cat lamp. So, the point of these kits is to get more girls involved into soldering and electronics and kit building. And so this kit, so this is not part of it. This is part of it. So this kit, yeah, it's basically a PCB cat lamp. But let me just show you how this thing is put together, which is pretty awesome. We've got the battery here, making sure it's not for the other kit. No, it is not. So even got the battery, which I was worried about not having one in stock. But check this out. So Steph makes these kits, obviously tailored for a younger audience, which is great. But if you're just learning, I mean, you don't have to be younger. These are just good instructions overall, which is pretty neat. So they're telling you to twist and break off the pieces. You put the LED, transistor, photoresistor. They're telling you about the polarity on the LED, which makes a lot of sense. And then, they give you instructions on how to solder, which is fantastic. The LED polarity again, because, even seasoned veterans still put these in backwards. It's a thing. Then solder the battery holder. And then it even shows you a close-up here of how to match the positive and negative. And then assemble the rest of the parts, making sure the plus is facing up. It's good. Dark place to test. The light switch should flicker on, or the light should flicker on when in darkness, while the switch is on. And then here we go. Here's some base stands. You've got the cat piece, the archway, torso, some paws. It tells you a little bit of information on LEDs, what transistors do, what resistors do, photoresistors, what they do. It's really neat. I thought I'd have to solder together the base, but I guess not. It all should just go together. So let's see if the mouse bites are in deep enough to snap these parts off. Well, yeah, they come out really easily. Look at that. And so I always recommend to beginners to buy kits. Kits are the greatest way to sort of introduce someone new to the hobby. And I think a kit where someone will be excited about the final product is actually much better than just a kit where you don't care about the product. So basically, once you get a little bit more familiar with electronics, then the 555 timer kits and things like that, those will be the types of kits that you're going to build. But if you're just getting started, or you don't know if you're going to be interested in it at all, something that has a practical use, like a nightlight, or something that's pretty, like this, which is really artfully made, that's probably a better idea, because then the product is the point and soldering is the method to get there. Whereas like stuff like 555 timer kits, typically the soldering is the point, right? So if you give someone something to do with an endpoint that looks as pretty and nice as this, and this will last, a lifetime. These are simple components we're talking about. Then the want for soldering will exist. I have to say though, these mouse bites are a little tough to get out, but that's fine. A little bit of struggle never hurt anybody. All right, so let's see what we have here. So it's clearly labeled here: transistor, resistor, photoresistor, LED. We do have the components in here. There we go. I think I'll zoom you guys in though, so you get to enjoy how pretty these things actually are. Hopefully being zoomed in so close I won't work too high off the off the board here. So yeah, we have the venerable 2N3904 as our transistor. Got a little 3mm LED, little photoresistor. Now these are usually cadmium sulfide based, so keep that in mind when it comes to disposal. We have a tiny little 1/8 watt resistor. This thing is very small. See if I can read the color code. Brown, orange, black, black, brown. So brown is 1, I believe. Orange is one of those weird, it's 5 or 7. No, it's 3. Dang it, I knew it was something odd. So 1, 3, black is 0, and then I think black is another 0. So 130 ohms, that makes sense? Might be. 130 ohm. This is probably white, but we're going to check. And positive lead is usually the long lead. Got a nice little angled switch here. And that's it. Super simple circuit, but that's exactly what you want to do to get started. Now, does the LED come on this way or the other way? Looks like it's supposed to go in this way. So label side. Alright, so let's go positivo, like so. I'm going to splay the legs a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to balance it a little bit on my fingers here, but you can just put it down like this. I recommend always to solder a single leg first. Just going to touch the pad and the lead to heat up both. There we go. Just do one leg at a time. You make sure that LED is on straight, and then you go and do the other leg. Like so, reflow the first leg again for good measure, and then we're going to chop off the leads. I like this because it is a beginner's kit, but it doesn't, it doesn't, like, let's say, space these holes really far apart, so you still have the risk of shorting the pads. One thing Dave Jones says often is that he hopes when you build your kit that it doesn't work. And the reason why he says that is because troubleshooting is some of the best ways to learn. So here we go, put the transistor in. Now transistor, I don't see the pads labeled, but at the same time, there is the shape, right? The flat is on top here, so you put your transistor in the flat on top. If your kit doesn't work, check your transistor orientation, because the venerable 2N3904 is kind of like a bulletproof little common used NPN transistor. So I wouldn't expect that to fail. There we go. You're not supposed to cut all 3 legs at once, but I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Alright, photoresistor, non-polarized. This is our first non-polarized component. So it doesn't matter which way you put that in. Here we go. Feed through. Now you guys might do this a lot faster than I am doing it. It's because having it on camera takes a little bit more time. That's okay. 1 and 2. Cut off the leads. There we go. Photoresistor. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. And now our 100. It says 100K resistor. Did I read this completely wrong? Oh, you know what? I could have read it backwards. It could be brown, black, black, orange. So that'd be 100 with 3 zeros. So yeah, 100K. Whoopsies. A little bit of a difference between 100K and 130 ohm. So I was thinking 130 ohm would be a good resistance if the if it was like a resistor for the LED, but it must be a resistor to complement the CDS cell which we have in there for the base and not for the LED. There we go. Cut these off. And we're almost done. Just about 5 minutes of soldering and waffling on, and we're almost done. Alright, next we're going to do the battery on the base. Very nice illustration again. Very obvious as to where it goes. Like so. Oh, it stands off too. There's like little pegs on this to stand it off. So be careful if you're going to be holding this in the board. Hold it by the plastic pieces. I also want to make sure I'm doing it right, or else Steph is going to waggle her finger at me. Seems like it's on the side with the Elkei label. Yeah, that's here. Like so. Yeah, so hold it by the plastic, not by the metal, lest you feel like warming up your fingers. Alright, let's see if I can get this maneuvered properly. Just going to grab a little bit of solder for the tip just to help that heat transfer. There we go. Whoops, it stuck itself. So there we go. You can use a set of helping hands. I am stubborn because my helping hands are a couple steps away, so I didn't bother going to get them. Little switch. Again, hoping it's on the correct way. Yep, it's on the side. Oh, should have done that first. Oh well. No biggie. So now I am going to do the center pin first, and I'm just hoping that that will suck less of the heat away, because if you're holding it by the metal case and you solder the outside pads, it might get hot. Need to manage that solder. There we go. I think I got a little bit of a tack weld on there. Oh, did I let it go too early? I may have. There we go. Now I can solder the case, which is on the outsides here. There we go. Beauty. Alright, I think that's it. Just need to put the cat into the bag, so to speak. I'm not sure. I think this part goes up. Let's see. I mean, I think so. Let's see. So, positive and negative are written there. And positive is on this side. Whoops. Like so. Is this how it goes? Ooh, that's a... Wow, that's a nice fit. That you don't actually need to solder that, but I guess you do to power it. So let's see. The LED side and then the archway should go like so. No plus and minus on this. We have no electronics on this end. So suppose you could install it however you want. Sort of like that. This is neat. This one is not as tight as the cat, I have to say. The cat is quite solid in there. But alright, let's try to let's solder up the cat. So I'm gonna hit my iron on both ends. Can you guys see? I'm gonna move this up a little bit so you can see. How am I gonna do this? Alright, here goes. So I'm going to put some solder down on there. There we go. And I'm just going to flow some solder up to the top of that joint. There we go. Should hold it in place. Just show you what I did there. I'm going to do the same thing down here. There we go. So 2 little solder joints there. I know it's probably out of focus because it's up off the board. I'm going to redo this one here. I'm going to add a little bit more. There we go. So that's nice. Alright. And now, what am I missing? Oh yeah, this will just go on here. Also some solder pads onto the body section. I guess we can solder the arms onto the body. Do cats have arms? Legs? 1 and 2. I see. Has to match kind of the pads there, and then this will come into here like this. Oh yeah, neat. Man, the amount of work that went into this, I still can't believe how inexpensive these kits are. I understand like manufacturing PCBs isn't as expensive as it used to be, but I mean if you check out our podcast episode, Steph explains how much work it was to make the different layers. And the thing about PCB software, PCB making software like KiCad or Eagle or whatever, is they're not really designed with artists in mind. They're more designed, you know, with commercial products in mind type thing. Aesthetics are not high on the development list. There we go. Little solder joints there. And pop these in. Plus, the gold plating is actually an additional cost. That wasn't necessary, but if you look here, this is an aesthetic choice, and I tend to agree. It looks great. Steph also had to find someone, a manufacturer, who was willing to manufacture to her tolerances. Just holding it still while the solder cools. I have to say, this is a neat kit. There we go. Almost done now. Just need to hook up the little legs here. Looks like the mouse bites stay on in the picture, so I'll leave them on. And just kind of slide these in here. 2, 3, and 4. Neat. That's awesome. So let's just see if we can slide the cell in and see if we can get some lights happening. And then I'll give you a couple of glamour shots. So positive is the flat side of a coin cell, if you didn't know that. So in this goes. Yep, positive on top. Alright, so this should do absolutely nothing now, which is correct, it does nothing. I'm going to cover the photoresistor. It's not lighting up. Are we falling into the Dave Jones trap for young players? Let's see. Negatives on that side. Negatives on that side. They are soldered together. Solder joints do look good. Did I connect my negative to my positive on the LED? No, should be good. Oh my god, you need it very dark. So just... yeah, look at that. It's lighting up. Just my thumb, there we go, is still allowing... you know what? I bet you that my studio lighting here is too bright, so it overwhelms the LED. Look at this nice blue glow. That's really cool. Nice. So it does work first try. So unfortunately we don't get to diagnose anything, but that does mean that Steph's instructions, although I only skimmed them, are great. So let me get you a little bit of a glamour shot of this, because I just need you to appreciate how awesome this thing looks. And so aside from my crappy handheld video footage, look at how pretty this thing is. Also RTFM, because turns out there are solder pads on the bottom to hold the legs in too. Some of the legs are on permanently. Nothing for the arms though, but they do hang downwards. So they're not actually, you know, against the force of gravity here. They should just sit there and stay there. So yeah. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's gonna hang up on my, or it's gonna sit on my desk, and it'll act as a nice little nightlight. So yeah, pretty awesome. You should go get your own one of these. You'll be surprised at how little it costs for how much work it takes to put something like this together in kit form. So I want you to go down to the store and take a look. And if not, I mean, go tweet at Steph if you think this thing is pretty, if you think we need more kits like this, or, you know, the badge. Another super simple solder kit that looks absolutely insanely good. Go tweet at Steph, because as a content creator, or as a creator of things, sometimes it's just nice to hear that the stuff you made has a positive effect on someone's life. Thanks for watching.